For the last maybe 8 years, we have very specifically organized spaces for LBQ women and gender non-binary persons and gender diverse persons. This started as Because Women, which was like literally a space for conversation for this specific community. I think by the third, fourth Because Women, we created Uzima Camp, which was kind of like an intensive camp, and we're specifically targeting LBQ GNC leaders to impart on them knowledge about, leadership, to create space for conversations, to create agency and have cross movement, cross identity, cross generational dialogue.
Welcome to the Imaara Summit!
The backbone of the Imaara Summit was definitely care, not just care for the communities we serve, but care for self.
Care and rest are integral parts of our movements because they sustain our movements. Those times when we are able to rest, when we are cared for, give us like a preview of what could happen and actually energize us to continue our work.
As we build individual work, we're also building movements which are continuous and acknowledging that they cannot be continuous without forms of rest. Yeah.
The systems we are fighting may not collapse in our lifetime, but while we are still here, we should have some access to the world that we dream of.
I've experienced queer joy, especially through sharing care practices and cultures of care and learning from each other's cultures of care and taking time out to breathe, to break, to dance, to break bread as well.
The gala dinner was like a mixture of like prom night, a professional gala dinner, a karaoke bar, a treasure hunt experience, like we won Survivor, Amazing Race. It was a mixture of so many things, but the center of it was just like this feeling of camaraderie and like being around other queer women and like feminist leaders. It felt like all my favorite things in one place. It allowed me to just kind of be my fullest, most authentic self.
True, honest conversations have been had. It has been a space to deliberate, a space to, strategize as well, a space for experiential learning where like intergenerational knowledge has been passed across as well.
The conversation around transition, succession, and mentorship have been at the center of the conversations we've had here, right? And I feel like as a leader who was mentored into this role that I'm stepping into, I feel like there's a responsibility there to also make sure that I am able to hand over the baton to the next generation, right?
I've never been in a space where you have access to like people who've lived your experience in a completely different time than you. A lot of the queer history that I've had access to up until this point has been very Western. It's been labels that are very Western. So interacting with people who have been in the movement, who have the language that I've been looking for, chef's kiss.
I learned a lot about like how people are organizing like across the board, not just the big campaigns that get more visibility, but kind of what people are doing every day. And I think it could be cool to continue to see how that work goes and to apply it to our own work in Uganda.
So we are looking at what we've done, what we've discussed, and what the future holds towards movement building.
I led a session where we formed accountability pods, and I see that also propelling us to being more together, communicating and keeping in touch with each other more. And I think for me, that is really cute. I want to use the word cute. That is really cute. It's not very often that somebody just sits and calls you and asks you, how's work? How are you doing? Okay, you had committed to this. Are you still on the same path? How are you feeling? Or just being a memory of the other person. People are saying that they want to be the living memory of the other person. I mean, that's all beautiful.
As a leader, it's important to have spaces like this because I feel like this is where I come to replenish, because most of our work is giving, right? And that's the job. Like, I feel like as a leader, it takes and takes and takes. So I feel like feminist and intentional spaces like these ones are where I come to fill my cup. This is where I come to learn, I come to commune, I come to listen, right? Hear from other leaders' experiences. It's one of the few spaces we have to fill our cups literally and hypothetically.
So we need to look at like Imaara Summit 2.0, Imaara Summit, biannual meetings, biannual convenings, biannual summits. So I think this summit should not end at this particular point because of how useful it has been, especially for grassroots organizing, for rural organizing. This has been a place that then also helps us reimagine beyond the villages that we are working in, beyond, the rural areas that we are working in, to reimagine how policy work looks like, how advocacy looks like, what has worked, what has not worked. So that would be very helpful for other nascent and grassroots organizations as well. So I hope a 2.0 is around the corner.
Imaara Summit!